Before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to remind those healthcare executives out there that are from small and rural healthcare organizations that Capstone provides complimentary consultations. As you may know, we help small and rural healthcare organizations to be the provider and employer of choice to keep care local and margins strong. Go to capstoneleadership.net and you can fill out the contact form there or actually self-schedule a day and time that works for you. We'd love to partner with you in executing a winning strategy.
So there is so much benefit to having frontline staff being able to partner with me, and we can have those great conversations of what have you seen? What can we do? What can elevate BMC's efforts out in the community? And it really has done that too, I believe, as well. Different ideas that we've come up with over the years and have implemented aren't just my ideas. They're the ideas of the people that work here.
Welcome to Culture Change RX, the podcast for healthcare professionals that are committed to creating a thriving workplace culture, improving the experiences of employees and patients, and ultimately unlocking their organization's next level of potential. I'm Sue Tetzlaff, your host and co-founder of Capstone Leadership Solutions. Join me and my insightful guests each week as we share actionable insights for navigating the crucial people side of the business of healthcare. Subscribe now for a weekly dose of Culture Change RX. Now let's dive into this week's conversation where culture change takes center stage.
Hello, I'm glad you're here for another episode of Culture Change RX. I have a guest in the studio, and my guest is Halle, and we're going to start with having her introduce herself, and then we're going to get into an amazing conversation about community mindedness in community hospitals. So, Halle, welcome to the show, and take a moment to introduce yourself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Sue. I am blessed and honored to be here today. My name is Halle Pardun. I am the marketing director at Burnett Medical Center. We also have embarked upon our Quest for Excellence journey, which is what we call our cultural transformation journey here. And I have been the initiative champion with that for the last 5 years. So I lead our steering team. And then I also, being in marketing, we have a community team. So I also lead the community team as well.
We know that in community hospitals, people wear lots of hats.
Yes. So I am the marketing director. So I am a department of one. I do a lot of our marketing and community relations. So getting out in the community, doing events, meeting with local businesses, things like that. And I've been doing that for the last 9 years.
So you've been doing this for almost half the time without a community team in your structure of your Quest for Excellence initiative, and now had 5 years having that team. So when we were setting up the team structure and we work with our organizations, and in particular the CEO and the initiative team and the executive team, asking them, where do you want to add in and gain the benefits of employee contributions towards your top strategic priorities? And your organization decided to add this community team, and not all of our partner organizations that are doing this type of transformation have that exact team as part of their structure. Why do you think it was? I'm searching my memory banks right now of those early conversations with your organization, but what do you recall as the reason why your organization really thought this was a good idea to engage employees in a formal team to help with community relations?
So community has always been one of our hospital's pillars. So we have our main pillars of growth, people, quality service, those types of things. And community is one of those pillars. So in terms of looking at what teams can align with each of those pillars, we definitely were looking at having a community team. A personal reason, and I'm so happy that we did, is just because I'm a department of one. It is so awesome to be able to have an internal group of people that can work with me and give me some fresh ideas. Sometimes it's like when you're looking over a paper, like editing a paper, you just need somebody else to look at it or to step away and be like, okay, I need something new. I need to refresh my mind. And I truly believe that's what our team allows me and helps me with is, okay, we have this event that we want to go do. What types of activities do you think would draw people into the booth? Like, these are some ideas that I've come up with, but what are some things that have drawn, you guys into other events that you have been to with your families and things like that? So there is so much benefit to having frontline staff being able to like partner with me, and we can have those great conversations of, what have you seen? What can we do? What can elevate BMC's efforts out in the community? And it really has done that too, I believe, as well. Different ideas that we've come up with over the years and have implemented aren't just my ideas. They're the ideas of the people that work here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're community members too, just like you. So they do represent the voice of the community. And it's hard to brainstorm with just yourself, isn't it? Just like it's hard to proofread your own work.
Yeah, it just depends. Those Mondays can sometimes hit harder than others. And, you just get those brain blocks. And I find myself actually frequently emailing like specific people of the team, or just emailing the team like, hey, this is what I'm coming across. So we can be able to talk outside of our meetings as well. And everybody is just so helpful with it as well. So it's just, It's a blessing in disguise that you don't realize you were missing until you have it, right?
Yeah, that's such a good observation. Yeah, good point to make. I do know that there's an action plan every year developed. And in the beginning, we help develop that. But then your team is responsible to learn how to self-plan year after year. And what kind of guides that community team's plan is a kind of a rhythm or a cadence of going out into the community. So your employees going out in the community and engaging with them there and elevating that community involvement, but then also bringing the community in. And so creating this rhythm of going out and coming in on a quarterly basis. That's kind of how we get started. But then each organization, we always say, make it yours, make it better. And now you're 5+ years down the line. So what does that look like, and how has that changed over time, Halle?
So we still actually have our basis of that on our action plan. We do have an in event and an out event set for every quarter. Where we're at now, though, is that we do more in and out events than just the one each quarter. And especially it depends on what time of year. So where we are located, it's very seasonal. So winter, yes, it's busy with a lot of like tourism and stuff as well. But obviously you're very dependent on weather where we live with winter. And so most of the time people don't really want to get out unless you're, snowmobiling or ice fishing, doing a lot of those types of things. So those winter months are less full of different in and out events, but our spring and summers are always so full. And so we usually have like our in events being stuff like our health fair. We do a blood drive here as well. So we're bringing the community in. We have a fun run, which is a 5K and a 10K that we host every year. Those are like our in type events that are bringing people to our facility. Different out events are just other local events or things that businesses are putting on that we want to be a part of. And we feel like there would be great purpose to have our brand there. One of our bigger summer events is National Night Out. So a lot of people are aware of that, where we're celebrating first responders and all of the work that they do. Well, and being in healthcare, we want to be a part of that. We want to help celebrate and have our brand be a part of that as well, since we work with all of them, especially in like our emergency department. And so that's like an out event that we go do. We like to do various things with different businesses. Again, that would go and support the purpose of our team, which is, really building that relationship with our community. And so we do a bunch of different like activities and games that we do at those events. Really sparking that interaction. We're trying to draw people to come see us, to come talk to us. And all of that aligns with all of our marketing campaigns that we have on a quarterly basis as well. So just depending on what that is, that's going to determine what type of brochures we're specifically handing out, what type of posters we're going to have that we want people to see. We're trying to be intentional about that. So yeah, we still do really follow the action plan structure of that in and out event. And again, aligning it with the purpose of our team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know that usually when we're working with a new organization that's setting up a community team such as this is, they do an assessment about what they have been doing in the past, and some of the things that they have been doing, they'll continue doing, and some things they'll sunset and other things they'll add. But a lot of times we'll see that, they might be doing a lot, but they're not really very specific and intentional about the focus of what they're doing, what they're promoting. So I've seen some organizations where they're in every parade all summer long and they're just parading out there, but they're not really intentionally promoting certain high priority service growth lines, et cetera, new providers, new services. They're just out there with the generic hospital name brand versus a specific service that's important, or a certain disease process where they're creating awareness or around or whatever. So yeah, that intentionality that you mentioned is important because we don't have unlimited resources, and the time, even if it doesn't cost a lot of money to be in these events, it is time, and that's money too. So, and you want a return on investment for it, right? You want to have community members know you do this and use the services of their local community hospital. So that's really the end game for sure. I know that a tactic of word of mouth campaigns is another one that some community teams have been using. Does your team use a word of mouth type campaign where you, outside of events, you're actually engaging all your employees to promote the hospital and its services?
Yeah. So actually at our quarterly employee forums, those are usually right at the beginning of the quarter, is when I will present that to our employees at all of the sessions that we have. It's just a 1-page handout that I create, kind of newsletter style, but it's just a 1-pager that will highlight what we're specifically targeting and focusing on for marketing for this quarter. So for example, we're targeting some of our surgical services that we just recruited some new providers for. So we're really focusing on surgical services, but specifically like those specific services. Just we want to try and grow their service. We want to get their clinics full. We want to obviously improve and increase the number of surgeries that we're doing. So I just kind of explain that at the forefront. And then I give them some specific talking points that they can bring back, not only to their departments to talk about if somebody wasn't able to come to the forum, but just talking points that they can use out in the community as well when they go home and talk to their families, or they're out and about at grocery store or local events or sporting games with their friends and families. It's times that you can talk about those things, specifically down to like what type of services do these new services offer? What kind of surgeries are we talking about? And even just like our availability. Is it a 7 days a week? Is it longer hours? Or is it only certain days that the provider is here? So I really set those talking points in that handout. On top of that, I also bring up what events are happening this quarter. Again, trying to get, some people to volunteer, and I encourage people to help volunteer and help support the community team in that way, where people can look kind of ahead at their calendars and see if they'd be available to help volunteer, to be able to talk about these different services at these events. And then specifically on our word of mouth, I challenge them to tell at least 5 people, doesn't matter who it is, but challenge them to tell 5 people about one of these new providers that we have onboarded, even just the service in general, even talking about people that they work with, because again, we want to keep recruiting the great people that we have, and their friends and family members are perfect for that as well. And then on top of it, I feel like I'm sales pitching all of our social media pages, but if you haven't already liked and follow our social media pages, that type of thing, and really encouraging them to specifically share what they see on our pages, just because those shares give us more views than just liking or commenting on something. So those shares really get people to see that. And that's all free, right? I mean, I'm talking to them, showing them what our ads are going to look like. They get the first, in-depth insight of what it's going to look like, where we're going to be posting these things, like on what channels, billboards, online, social media, all of those things. But it's really important that they're included in it, so that you are trying to grow that purpose of, I'm sharing this with you because I hope that you can share this with others, that kind of thing.
Yeah. That just speaks to the fact of, over my career and when I was a healthcare leader in the hospital setting is that it would be one of those things that employees would say is like, why are we the last to know that we added this new service or that we actually recruited that new provider or whatever? Like, why does it seem like we read about it in the newspaper or we see it on social media, just like the general public? We don't see it first, And so I love that approach that you have to make sure that it's a standing agenda item. Like we don't just once in a while, if we think about it, do it. We have a standing routine of keeping our employees up to date and in the know about what's going on in our growth initiatives and in our community marketing, and that they get first dibs at it as well. I think that's so smart, Halle. That's just a good tip. And, all of this, like to what end is that the community and your employees are community too, right? Sometimes your employees don't even know what you do, including long-standing existing services. And then the community sometimes certainly doesn't know what you do. I remember when I was a healthcare executive and we'd be going out in the community doing our strategic planning and doing community listening sessions. And we would ask our community, what services can we add that you have to travel out of town to get? And they would list off a whole bunch of services that we had. And it's like, what? How do you not know that we have these things right there at your community hospitals? So we just can't do enough of this. We think they know, but they don't always know.
Yeah.
And we think in small communities it's easy, but it's not any easier in small communities, is it?
No, and that's, I think, where the community team can really help out and expand that too. So we actually just did a new event that we were invited to from a pretty big local business, actually. And we were just invited to one of their luncheons. And we were actually the only booth there from like outside of their facility, which I thought was interesting. But again, here we are in this specific marketing campaign. So I had my posters, I had specific brochures for that, and I had actually more conversations about our specialty providers than I thought that we would have had, right? Because again, people aren't going to want to come up to your booth and all of that. But like we drew them in with a specific activity. We had specific posters on these new providers and we had great conversation. And again, because of that word of mouth, like obviously I know what we're promoting, but I want to say that if it was anybody else, they would be able to know what to say when a community member is coming up to them and like, oh my gosh, you have that specialty service coming to you. And it's like, yep, we just got it, just started, they're accepting new patients, that type of stuff. And like, these are the type of surgeries that they can offer. And it's actually really beneficial because I had a conversation with somebody saying, yeah, well, I was going here and they don't have that specialty anymore. And they're referring me down to the cities, which is, an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And oh my, like, it's so nice to know that you have that here. And so I was just encouraging that person. I'm like, absolutely give us a call. So, I mean, just seeing it that way, I mean, you're really making an impact, even though it's a couple people, but that person's going to tell their friends and then those people are going to tell their friends. I mean, it just exponentially can spread like wildfire in such a positive way. And that's ultimately what we want and what we're going for.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting back to the teams, your team is one of several teams that's part of your Quest for Excellence initiative, which is really about improving and growing your organization long term. It's not a short-term project. It's like a new way of continually engaging employees and really strengthening and synergizing your leaders for ongoing improvement and growth. Each team has its purpose, like the community team does, but they all kind of, fit together and are synergistic. And I was thinking when you mentioned about the word of mouth campaigns is that, that's really the employee experience team is working to elevate the engagement of our employees so that they are excited about and understand how they can help improve and grow their community hospital that they work for. See these opportunities and they want to be part of it, that it's not just the work of leaders. And I think a lot of times employees do want to help, but nobody's asked them, or they don't even know what's available to them to do. And I do think that we have to get just more specific and direct about here are the opportunities, this is what they are, and this is how you can help. And then over time, it may not take off like wildfire right out of the gate, but you're building that culture of engagement and involvement, and everybody can be a chief marketing officer, not just you as the marketing officer. Everybody can do that. But it's just a process over time. So do you think it's taking off? Do you think, over these 5 years, you're seeing this take off?
I'd say for the most part, yes. And I would want to say that it's because that we have a team involved. It's not just one person. It's a lot of people that are genuinely very community driven and like being in our community that are on our team and willing to be able to help out in any new ideas. I mean, it's not mandatory that they help volunteer at the event, but it's really great that when they do come up with a new place for us to have a booth at or a new idea that we can do at our facility, that they are all in and they're willing to help the logistics, the volunteer if it needs to, because we do advertise internally many different ways about all of the different volunteer opportunities that we have. At the forums, I talk about all the different events that are coming up and to kind of look at your calendar ahead of time. And so the team really does have a lot to do with that. It's hard even trying to remember back prior to our Quest for Excellence and how did I get the word out about volunteering? How did I tell people about these different events that we have? And our team is really filled with so many different departments, which I love, by the way. I love the variety that we have because most of the time I can be like, okay, what we talked about, talk about this specific thing in your department. And you already have like half your facility knowing about what's going on and what's new. And your department's going to want to support that person in their department that is a part of our team. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of benefits that can really come from the ideas that are grown from there. The idea of leading with an open mind and allowing them to come up with these ideas. And what's the harm in trying, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with trying a new event. If it didn't work and you didn't really feel that it was fitting with your goals and your purpose, then we don't have to do it again next year, that kind of thing. So I love being able to have so many people to shoot ideas off of and just new ideas coming forward, and really excited to see what new things that we can do. We've talked about different ideas like teddy bear clinics. How can we partner with our local school districts more? How can we get, into the libraries and seeing families and things that way? Doing a club type thing after school where kiddos can come to our facility and kind of see the ins and outs of a specific department every month. So we got different ideas, on the back burner right now, but I'm really excited when our new fiscal year starts is putting together our action plan and seeing what new or additional in and out events that we can really put together because of this team. So very, very happy that we have them, and I can see us always having a community team here too.
Great. How do you let new employees know that you guys have these teams and how they can get involved either as a team member or to support the teams and the work of the teams? Is there a certain strategy you use to really let your new employees know about this? Taking a brief pause in this episode to make an announcement about upcoming events being held by Capstone Leadership Solutions. Our signature event in its 14th year, the 2-day Capstone Leadership Summit. It is for all healthcare leaders. It is our core curriculum of 9 core leadership practices that have been used to great results by thousands of healthcare leaders all across the country. This isn't theory. This is practical, doable tactics that are game changers for your team and your results. You can go to our website, capstoneleadership.net, and on the resource page, there is a tab for all of our upcoming events. Pick one, show up, and be a better leader day one after attending.
Yeah, so actually I speak at our new employee orientation. I have, about a 40-minute chunk where I talk, some marketing about branding and how that's important and how everybody is a part of that. I talk about some important communication things, that affect everybody facility wide. But then most of what I talk about is actually about our Quest for Excellence. So I am starting the conversation of letting them know what that is, what the structure looks like with our steering team and all of our teams underneath that being supported by the steering team. And I go in depth about what each team's purpose is, how they go about their action plan. And I share some pictures actually so they can see like it's our employees actually doing all of these things. So I really share the details of it. While that's a lot, also learning that on your first day on the job as well, I also made up a little handout that our education coordinator puts in all of their packets as well. So they have that as a reference even after. I do try to introduce them to the new jargon of our journey, right? Our facility is going to have different jargon about our quest for excellence and things like that than other hospitals will. So like when we're talking about, a team, when I'm saying social squad, you understand what team that is. Our team is the BMC broadcasters. So when you hear that, you already kind of have a connection of, oh yeah, that's like an employee driven team that you have here. So I do talk about that, all of the things that are great that the teams do. I really like to emphasize the fact that they're all employee driven as well. It's not senior leaders coming up with these ideas. These are all ideas that when you're working in your day-to-day and you see that a process needs to be improved, or we really could maybe use some extra training on this, we take that seriously. And that's what we work at and work on with our teams. So new employee orientation is a great way to do that. Again, when they tour during orientation, they'll also see what I'm talking about. Like when I'm talking about our suggestion box and our attitude of gratitude whiteboards, when they're going around, they are actually seeing those during their tour. And I know our education coordinator specifically points those out too, and is really connecting the dots for them of these are things that weren't here, but now they are, and feel free to use them. That's what they're there for. And we've really seen such great improvement with all of that. Like our suggestion box, there's something in there every month, actually multiple things for our employee experience team to look over and move forward on, which is so great. And we've had so many great responses from lots of different things that we're doing.
We have a mantra in Capstone, which is make each one better than anyone before. So make each community event better than anyone before. Make each year's team action plan better than anyone before. Make each word of mouth campaign better than anyone before. So as you're looking ahead of making things better than they were before, what's on the horizon of what's next for your community team?
Well, we're really excited, actually. I just presented at our team meeting this month what our drafted organizational goals look like. We do have a community goal, and our team aligns with that organizational goal for the community. And we're really focusing on increasing our outreach efforts, specifically looking at like educational outreach and even healthcare services outreach. So we're really excited to see how we can partner with many different departments to help promote that and help like with any logistics that they would need to get that set up. I think that's setting us up for great success with it's not the team that will be doing it all, but we're here to support you and your department to be able to provide specific education that like our rehabilitation services provide, being able to help connect a bigger business with us coming on site and providing flu shots or COVID shots or whatever type of things that they need. We've been experimenting a lot with providing like free blood pressure checks at different booths that we've been having, because again, why not? It encourages like CNAs and nurses to come help volunteer because they can do those types of things. Mm-hmm. And they're very obviously trained and well-versed in that. Being able to have those conversations with our community members more about their health. At our health fair, our laboratory department has actually been offering free blood typing. And this year, I think they did some free blood glucose testing as well, which was totally free and just something new that we're trying to offer. So again, it really aligns with increasing those outreach efforts that we're really trying to do. I'm really excited when we sit down and actually build out our action plan, how much of that is really just supporting other departments in our facility instead of a lot of it riding on our department of, okay, guys, what are we going to come up with? Instead of maybe we will assign a specific person to a department and being able to just have that communication with them. what do you need from us? How can we support you? Do you need specific marketing items in order to go out and talk to, this group? How can we help you? So I'm really looking forward to seeing how we can really elevate our efforts with that, and then how that ultimately down the line can help with our community reputation, how that can help our brand and getting out in the community a lot more, and just really excited to see how that can flourish.
I do think that will help you get that next level of engagement of additional employees beyond your team members to be part of the process, beyond just in general asking people to volunteer at a certain event, partnering your team with an individual department that has, a strategic priority and goal for their own outreach and growth, and being their support and partner in that. I think it's going to be a beautiful new year for you to test test that approach. And it's exciting. One of the things we didn't talk about in the introduction is that in the last year, you've joined on with the Capstone team as well. You didn't give up your day job, and you still have your role there at your hospital in marketing and community relations, and you have your role on the Quest for Excellence steering team, leading the community team. But in our company, we tap people on the shoulder like you that don't just learn this work as an employee of the company, but you've actually done it. And that's our coaching team, is people that have actually done it and experienced the challenges of it, overcome the challenges of it, started to see the wins of it, so that you can help others do it too. So I just wanted to mention how much we enjoy having you on our team and having your experience 5 years later into this in your own organization. And now you paying that forward to help other small and rural hospitals do similar things in their community hospitals. And so is there anything you want to say about how that's going for you and working with other community teams outside of your own and other hospitals and healthcare organizations outside of your own?
Yes, it is a dream come true to be a part of your team. Actually, I love doing it. And I'm newer, but being the social butterfly I am, it really, really fills my bucket and refreshes the work, and actually just really excites me even more. Like when I go do a site visit, or, we just got back from our healthcare executive forum, and being able to meet so many other leaders in their departments and their organizations doing all of these great work. It's really nice to be able to share different ideas that worked for us, to get ideas that work for other people. Just being able to share that is so great. Just that networking is so wonderful. Even another site visit that I went to, I got to meet their chief marketing officer and things like that. So it's just really nice to be able to connect with other people that are doing the same thing, and we all have the same goal as well. So it's just really, really nice to meet and explore different ideas and opportunities with those people. So I am so excited to see what the future holds. I love being able to meet new people. I love the idea that we're all in it for the same reason. We're all in healthcare. So our main goal is to make sure that people are getting the care that they need in order to live the healthiest lives that they can. So, even though I'm not front patient facing, but marketing has a lot to do with that. And our community team has so much to deal with our patient experience and our employee experience. So just trying to make those connections of, we're all very important and we have our own spin on it, but nonetheless, you can't do it without the other. And I am so excited to see what I can learn from other facilities as well. So I am very blessed to be on this Capstone journey as well, outside of my own.
And it's such a benefit for all of our clients to have coaching staff that know it to the level that people like you, that you know it and have done it. So we love having you on the team, and we love your addition of your energy and your spirit that you bring to our team and our culture as well. So we also look for that, just like any other employer would, where it's not just about what you know, but also about who you are. So yeah, we're so glad to have you on the team, Halle. And thanks for taking the time today and sharing some of the wisdom of your experience over these last 5 years. And we appreciate you just inspiring others with that knowledge. So any last minute thoughts of things you wanted to make sure you shared today when we had this time?
I think we hit it all. I can't think of anything else right now, but yeah. I'm excited to see where our journey continues to take us. I think this was a great move to do, and we're so blessed to be able to have connected with Capstone.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. And also thanks for now being part of our team as well. So I'll just close out here by reminding people that we have a new episode every Wednesday. And if you enjoy episodes like this or any of the other topics that we bring forward, please share it with other colleagues that you have and help inspire and equip them for positive change in their organizations as well. It could be as easy as sharing an episode such as this. So thank you, and we'll see you again next week. Bye now.
Thanks for tuning in to Culture Change RX. If you found value in today's episode and you are a believer in fostering change in healthcare, join us in making a difference. Follow, rate, and review our podcast on your favorite platform. Share it with colleagues and your network. Together, we can make a lasting impact. Until next week, keep inspiring positive change.